Okay, very good. The cutting edge path to riches for masters. Master Naima here, and there is an intensive happening April 6th. Today is an abbreviated version of that intensive. For the extended version happening April 6th inside of Master Tribe, you can click the link with this video. I will be speaking at a slower than normal pace today, as I am correcting my language. One of the three pieces that I'll be covering today is the nuanced and effective / necessary language for a master in creating riches, financially and otherwise. I'm notifying you, so as I am talking slower, you'll know what's going on. Or something is coming through. Or. So, we're so lucky to be alive now. Okay, clear. I and everyone watching this is so lucky to be alive now. Please, I am further impressing that masters who have intelligence that even just 2 weeks ago was not heard the same. The message that you have now, I'm using the word you intentionally, the message that you have now is bankable in a way that it wasn't is bankable in a way that was something else less bankable. And that's a subjective expression right there, but less bankable 2 weeks ago. So who am I? Master Naima, created a 7-figure coaching business online in under 4 years. I'm taking many long stories and making them short in what I'm saying now. Went into hiding as the door of master was presented to me. Went on this, solo voyage of being willing to walk through the door of master alone, basically. And here I am today, able to guide masters to the path to riches. Now, historically, this has been very dangerous. And now the message that you have, the method and I'm using the word you intentionally, the message that you have, the method that you have, it's highly bankable now. It's highly bankable now. So there are 3 areas that I'm going to go into today. And remember, this is an abbreviated version. The extended version is happening inside of Master Tribe on April 6th. The 3 things I'm going into today are gotta change my page. The 4 non-negotiables for masters to financially succeed. And when I say succeed, I mean financially is one way. I mean actually being happy. I mean, actually doing the work you came to do. I mean, like, so when I talk about success, I'm not only, well, when I talk about success, it's in all realms, financially and otherwise. So today I'm going into the four non-negotiables required for masters to succeed. Where are my notes? One second. The key that's number one. Number two, the key distinctions that make masters masters. And remembering mastery does not mean master. And I'm going to break that down. And number three, this is so important. It's all important. And this third one has been revealed as even, I really get it now, the significance of this. The nuanced and effective ways of speaking and being that connect natural-born masters with higher dimensions of power and draw ideal prospects into your world. Before I go any further, it's imperative that masters, the word withdraw is coming to mind, withdraw themselves from the world temporarily. Look, you can go, I'm using the word you very intentionally. You can go and look at CNN, like it's there, it's not going anywhere, okay? You can go, so go give yourself 5 hours, okay? When that desire is there for you. Look at CNN, look at BBC, look at Italian news, look at British news, look at Australian news, look at Canadian news, look at it, eat it all. And perhaps feel all the, I personally am very much feel it, okay? Everything that's out here. And I invite you to do that on purpose, then withdraw, okay? Then withdraw, go into your nook in your house, the proverbial nook, wherever that is. Then come down into what you know as a master. So this takes me to number one. In order for you to be making big money as a master, this applies to masters. Like, I have a very international network of people in my world. I have been on the phone with people in Kosovo, Paris, Australia, the UK, Bali, Canada, all throughout the United States. I am widely aware of the emotional state, the cultural state of well over a dozen countries right now. Okay? I'm speaking to masters no matter where you are in the world. Your riches now comes from you operating from what you know. Now, here is the way, because the four non-negotiables, I'm going into the four non-negotiables, okay? There's a one, I'm starting with number two. And the number two is moving from what you know. So the reason why I say go ahead and fill yourself up with all the fear. Go fill yourself up, okay? Go watch CNN and BBC and the Prime Minister in the UK and, all the little like mom and pop news stations on YouTube and, Facebook pages. Suck it up. Feel the panic, feel the tension, feel it. Go do this. This is counterintuitive. I'm aware. Okay? Just take it all in. Because what I know is when it's avoided and it's like, I'm not going to look at it. I'm not going to take on people. I'm an empath. I'm not going to take on people's fear. Then the whole of it, the unknown of it, like grabs at your energy in an invisible way. And I'm using the word you very intentionally. Okay. So that's why I say, suck it all in. Just sit down for like 5 hours and take it all in. Okay. Then Go sit in your nook, lay in your nook, middle of the night, light a candle at 2 a.m. Okay? Intentionally relax your body. Turn on music on YouTube, soft, high frequency music. Pay attention to the tension in the body, okay? And then intentionally use breath to relax the tension in the body. Okay, so because you've already had the opportunity to fill up with all the shits. And then relax the body. So I'm inviting you to intentionally engage in polar opposites here, okay? And relax. And this could, depending on the level at which you already move from your knowing, it will take longer or shorter. For people who typically operate from an egoic, which is most people, frankly, even masters, typically operate from a conscious place, it will take longer. For those who naturally, through practice through practice, naturally operate from the deeper what's the word I'm looking for? The deeper tide that governs things, the deeper tide. It's likely to take less time. Then what reveals itself to you? Then what do you know? Okay. And one can hear this knowing even in the face of the ego that could very possibly be shouting. One could the word combat is coming to mind. Could as you've done the swallowing that I talked about, it's no longer a question mark of, right? When the knowing comes through, you increase your chances of being able to relax into it as you've taken in all the other stuff in the world that typically the ego uses to trump knowing. Yeah. So the 4 non-negotiables required for masters to succeed is to move from your knowing. Move from your knowing. The number 1, and I'll elaborate on that in the extended version April 6th. The number 2 of 4 is, actually this is the number 1, is the requirement of verbally, publicly, and consistently declaring your position as master. That's number 1. Verbally, publicly, consistently declaring your position as master. For those who are hearing my voice right now and you're ready to move forward, you know it's your time. To you, I have said more than enough. It was unnecessary for you to even hear this because you've been paying attention prior to this. And now's the time. The soil is fertile. People are listening like never before. You see that like our time has arrived. And perhaps you were like me, surprised, just unsure if this would arrive in our lifetime. I was totally unsure if these times would arrive in this lifetime. So I invite you to, if that's you, clear the word if, for those who it's true for, and you are eager to work privately with me and discussing what that would look like and sharing with me what your signature intelligence is, what you've been withholding as you've known that the soil has been less than fertile, okay? Less than fertile. The word not, which I'm using on purpose now, has been eliminated from my vocabulary. So you may be noticing part of the slow and the clearing is my awareness that I have used that word often, as many people have, as many masters have, and how virus it is. That was a little note. And that actually is me speeding ahead to the nuanced language. So let me back it up. So I invite you to inbox me now. If now is your time to work with me privately to be creating whatever the figure is for you. If it's 4-figure months, 5-figure months, 6-figure months, with your signature message. So even if you have been making good money with your thing, right? I know what this looks like, where you're known for something, you're good at it, it makes you good money, and it's reached its expiration date. It has reached its expiration date. It is done. And the full power that is required is calling, and you know now, right? The soil is fertile, and you require pristine support. Yeah, today. I invite you to inbox me now, and we will discuss the different ways to work together. There's VIP days, there's virtual and in-person VIP days because because it's also a virus word. As when this lets up, travel will be through the roof. And so I'll be in Europe, and one of the options is myself and whoever that person is who I work privately with traveling to Europe when the world is able to get on planes again, which I'm very excited about. I was actually supposed to land in Milan, where, the pandemonium has been the worst, at least in the last 2-3 weeks. And before it got really bad, the U.S. had warned Americans from traveling to Italy, although it hadn't been as bad as it is, right? And this was like the end of February. Yeah, like this is like February 25th, 3rd, something like that. And I was scheduled to land March 3rd. I was leaving March 2nd, and it was a red eye, and I was arriving March 3rd. And they warned against, and I waited like 2 days. I'm like, well, let's see, because it just wasn't that bad yet. Let's see. And then boom, it just, Italy was on lockdown. And then I messaged the woman who I rent from, and then I messaged my hairstylist in Milan, and it really was bad. So I am one of those people who's like, I'm ready to get back to Milan and definitely Paris ASAP. So a VIP day this summer in Paris could potentially be like, assuming we can fly. And that could be delayed to later. There's virtual options as well. So like I said, inbox me if you know, now is your time for us to work together privately. All right. So number 1 is verbally, consistently, publicly declare your position as mastered. Number 2 is move from your knowings. And I'm going to go into these 4 deeper, as I said, on April 6th inside of Master Tribe. Number 3 is immerse with masters. So something that happened inside of Master Tribe about a month and a half ago, Master Tribe was cleaned out, and now folks are allowed to come back in again. There was a woman in there from Europe who, what is happening is a lot of masters are finding their way to me. Well, slowly, though. It's not like mass, right? Because masters are the 1% of the 1%. And as they're finding themselves to me, there's, because masters hide very well, there's this way of just not unwilling to admit, unwilling to admit that one is a master initially, especially in a public space, even if it's a private group. Especially when it's a public space, And so this woman was like, no, she was like, well, I'm not sure. And no, and being in the community and also having a phone conversation with me went from, are you a master? I don't know. Are you a master? I think so. Are you a master? I'm a master. And the quickening of that and the space, right? Being in an environment, virtual environment, where admitting what one knows, admitting who one is allowed. And so number 3, are you going to come out? For those listening to my voice right now, okay, sometimes I will, sometimes I won't. For those listening to my voice right now, are you willing to come out as a master by yourself with no support? Are you willing to come out as whatever you would call yourself that's true, that accurately reflects who you are? Are you willing sustainably? Will you create 5-figure months out there by yourself, unwilling to declare your position by yourself, moving from what you think and feel versus what you know? Can you? Will you? This is what I'm getting at. This is what makes these non-negotiables. If they were negotiable, I wouldn't even be talking about them. Somebody else can talk about it. I'm mentioning these because they're non-negotiable. So that's number 3 is immersing with masters. Number 4 is high-level energy mastery and 7-figure business acumen. I say 7-figure because I'm going to assume that that's a desire of yours. If yours is 6 or multiple 6 figures, you can fill that in. Number 4 is high-level energy mastery and 7-figure business acumen, 6 or 7-figure business acumen. These are non-negotiable. The example that I gave earlier about go ahead and gobble up all the CNN and allow yourself to feel all even if you haven't been feeling it, although it's possible that you have been feeling very elated and joyful and, excited to be alive now, as you know that this was coming, okay? And that this is the time for masters, right? Go swallow up. Right? I gave that example because as that is a practice of energy mastery. The sun is moving. Hi. The forces, inner forces, outer forces, mastery over them will be essential to your success. As you start to tap into other dimensions of power, Naima, how does one tap into higher dimensions of power? What exactly are you referring to? This is what I'm referring to. So for those that are just tuning in, can watch the replay, or those who, you came in 10 minutes ago and you're like, Naima, I'll be back. This language piece of intentionally using exclusively words that are of higher order, intentionally, starts to, even if you just did this for 3 days, you will start to notice the shift in things that you're seeing that perhaps 3 days ago, no. That shift in consciousness and in sight then pings you to be in relationship with the universe and those forces that you're already looking to tap into to create form out of something that is out of form right now. Okay, that was my attempt at not using the word not. Yeah, so I'm developing mastery in this department as it's required now. So this is truly abbreviated. What I'm sharing here, the extended version will be April 6th inside of Master Tribe. You can click the link with this video to join, to request to join. And so I gave the 4 non-negotiables. 1, verbally, publicly, consistently declare position as master. Number 2, move from your knowing. Number 3, immerse in masters. Number 4, cultivate high-level energy mastery and 7-figure business acumen. Those are the 4 non-negotiables, okay, for masters to succeed. The key distinctions that make masters masters. I'm going to go into that now and why this matters. Yeah. I might eliminate this. I'll see. The reason why I created this is there were people who were coming into my field, like how do I know I'm a master? And there's the dissonance. There's the dissonance of and resistance around admitting who one is. And so there's always this like, well, I know I'm like this, but we're the same and we're one and all that. So there's distinctions between what is similar among all of us versus what is distinct and exclusive to master. So here are 4 key distinctions. There are others. These are some of the top ones. 1, masters consciously or unconsciously look for smaller assignments in their work. Look for smaller things to do, smaller projects, smaller versus the bigger project that will require the level of power that they know is in them. Okay, that's one of the things that, and masters think that's normal and it's not. Meaning, well, doesn't everybody? No, they don't. Not everybody. So that's one distinction. 2, look at this capital not in here. I wrote this not in here weeks ago. Well, it's true. And I'm using it with conscious on purpose. Masters cannot not speak the message and live the work they were given or born with. They cannot not, okay? So there are millions of people who will live like low grade levels of depression and unfulfilling lives and will live that their entire lives and die like that. Millions. Masters cannot do that. No matter how much they become frustrated and all the things, they cannot not. That's number 2. It took me some time I had to check in, like, is this ego? Like, Naima, where did you get this from? And really digging into this next one, which is the suffering of masters, and that is an advanced level of suffering. Now, on an ego level, that sounds so fucking like, really? And what I have found in my own experience and the experience of other masters is the thing that they are in possession of, okay, the method they've created or the signature intelligence or whatever the thing is that a master has created, it is hungry to get out. It is hungry to get out. So for others, the reason why they can hang out in unfulfillment is there is nothing, that's in service to greater humanity that's pulling them. There is nothing. Masters have this thing that's eager to get out. It wants to get into schools. It wants to get into the hands of whatever the segment of the population that it's meant to get into. It is hungry and it demands to be expressed and sold, like brought to the world in, like my thing, vocal. I know another woman who has a program that she's like, I know this is meant to be in schools worldwide. Another woman who has a program she knows is meant to be for mothers and women and those who are seeking to transform their lives from lack to like, and it is banging to get out. It's hungry to get out. And so what it does is any behavior or life that is the opposite of harmony with it, in allowing it to come forth, any lifestyle that is in opposition to will be one of suffering. The experience will be that of suffering. Which is why I find that many masters face the door of suicide so many times. It's not that clear. Okay. The word "not" is a virus word. It is that this thing that is in them is dying to get out. And so it's like the conversation of the signature intelligence, the language of it is express me or die. Let me out or die. It's like that inside of a master. That is the feeling, that is the experience inside of a master who is unwilling to birth their thing. And so all kinds of chaos, unnecessary chaos and drama is in the life of a master all the time, and depression and the door of just. So this is one of the ways that a master knows that he or she is a master. All right, number 3, until we walk through the door of master, until a master walks through the door of master, the question is often to God, please take it away. I don't want it. And I'm going to use some virus language here for the next few moments to get a point across. Here it is. Dear God, take it away. I don't have the power necessary to bring this thing forth to the world. Why me? Give it to somebody else. I'm not that powerful. I'm not from that kind of family. I'm overweight. I don't have the money. My confidence is low. Like, no, I'm unwilling to do this right now. Pick somebody else. I fucking hate you. Like cursing God like that. Okay. And see, it's easy for a master to think like, well, doesn't everybody experience this? No. This is one of the distinctions of a master. No, this is not there. There are plenty of people, millions of people who will live their entire lives and will live with a kind of perpetual, long-term, low-grade depression and unfulfilling. And if they're asked about it, their question will be something like, it's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. Masters, on the other hand, are like hungry to get this thing out, this signature intelligence, this body of work that's eager to come out. So those are the 4 distinctions, and I am going to go deeper into them. I'm going to go deeper into the 4 non-negotiables, April 6th, inside of Master Tribe here on Facebook. Now, lastly, I'm going to take about 3-4 minutes about the nuanced and effective ways of speaking and being that connect natural-born masters with higher dimensions of power and draw in ideal prospects. So I spoke a bit about this earlier. And there's a list of virus words. I think I'm going to share it with those who join the extended version of the Power with Money Intensive April 6th. There's a list of virus words that everybody uses all the time and doesn't even know that they're poisoning their brain in thought. And in me included, I knew, then I forgot. And amnesia is one of the consequences of using virus words. Amnesia and blindness, meaning something is off. And I'm having difficulty seeing it. The difficulty in seeing it is that the virus language causes blindness. So it's like, I know $50,000 months, or I know that I just know money. Okay, right now I'm looking for another word. I expect money to be flowing in large amounts. And where is it? Easy. Where is it? I got it all. I'm doing it all. Where is it? Right? And an inability to see is often tied to blindness. Blindness is a result of using virus language. Virus language is, like I said, words like not, words like should, words like maybe, words like can't, words like can't, won't, don't, you. And unless these words are used with consciousness, so it's one thing for me to use it consciously. It's another thing for me to just be yapping off about my vision, about my plan. So one of the things for effectiveness in that immediately starts to allow one to ping with higher frequencies to be able to see and create and call in solutions and ways and words for greater manifestation financially and otherwise is accurate language. So accurate language is choice language. So I am, I choose, I question. So for example, you have, see, I just say you, and I'm using it consciously here. Earlier, I talked a lot about different times where I was looking to use the word not, right? Or like automatically, because it just comes out. It's so normal to use it until one starts to notice how often they're using it. And so, for example, I used this example during a group coaching call with some clients yesterday where one of my clients was asking, so Naima, if I'm not, and if is a virus word as well, if. She's like, if I'm not using the word not, like if someone asks me to do something, this is what she asked me. If somebody asks me to do something and then I want to tell them, no, I'm not doing that. How do I tell them that if I'm not using the word not? And I said to her, let's say her name is Susan. I said, Susan, if you asked me, hey, Naima, can we get on the phone tomorrow? I would like to talk to you about something. And I said to you, Susan, I'm going to be sleeping tomorrow at 10 o'clock. What do you hear when I say that? She said, well, I hear that you're not going to be there. Exactly. See? So there's finding a way to communicate. And this is retraining the brain. It's so critical. Like, it's exciting to me to, even in the last, what's today, Tuesday? So it started Sunday for me where, okay, these virus words were revealed to me years ago and then I forgot and I just picked them back up. And in the last 48 hours, I've been seeing the opening of sight. Opening of sight I was seeking even just a week ago. So that's one, okay? When I talk about the nuanced and effective ways of speaking, okay, that's one. And effective ways of being. I'm going to go into this, like I said, in a full-blown version of the Power with Money Intensive on April 6th, which is a little under 2 weeks. So I invite you, so the link with this video to request to join Master Tribe. And if you're either, you've been watching for a while and you're like done watching, right? You're ready to be the one who's being watched. Or you're new to my world and you're fast, and it's unnecessary for you to watch a dozen videos and right. You have your ego in check enough where it doesn't tell you to, well, you need to wait and you need to, right? You're more, as I mentioned earlier in this video, some people, depending on how deeply connected they already are with their knowing, it takes them longer to be able to move on a thing, something that they already knew a week ago, a month ago, a year ago, 5 years ago. And it, oof, girl. So I invite you to inbox me if that's you and you're ready to rock and you know I'm the one to be on your side, to help guide you, to help hold you accountable, for you to get counsel from, and help you to build a thriving, financially and otherwise, thriving business specifically in the vein of your signature intelligence, your original body of work, okay, which could be a great pivot, right? Inbox me. Right now, because I'm eager to connect with you just as eager as you are to connect with me. That's my word for today. Yay, and I did good on time. So I've been here 45 minutes and the full-blown intensive is 90 minutes. So it's double this time. And it's happening inside of Master Tribe on Facebook, April 6th at, I can't remember the time, but it's happening April 6th. I'm going to put the link with this video to join us in Master Tribe and inbox me if you are ready to move forward working together privately.